Okay, so we have come to the end of the topic. Alright, so now it is your turn to pick any topic that suits with your interest. So me personally think all the topics are interesting, right? But again, it depends on your interest as well. So, check on with your friends, with your team members, which topic that you need to pick for your presentation. So for tomorrow's sessions, we have no class. I repeat, we have no class. And I really hope that you can just use the time to finish your slide presentation. For tomorrow, you only need to submit me the team member's name and your chosen topic for your slide. And not to forget, for your group members, you cannot exceed more than 5 people in a group. So discuss this with your friends and submit those details at the end of our class tomorrow morning.
Hey Wardina, did you remember what Miss said just now about how many people in one group? I'm a bit unclear about that.
If I'm not mistaken, Miss stated that it is up to us to form any number of people in a group as long as it doesn't exceed 4 people.
Really? I think it's just 3 members in a group because we only have 21 students in this class. But I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, I don't know. Assalamualaikum and good day to all. My name is Nazifa. Will be your moderator for today forum seasons. Let me give a brief introductions about the topic that we are going to be discussed today. So the topic is listening and critical thinking. Listening is an active process. When you are received, you construct and then you respond to it. Either you spoke or use non-verbal message. For example, hand gesture, facial expressions, body language, and others. So based on the role play, there is one problem or one issue that the students always encountered when they are assigned to do group discussions or group assignments. So the issue was the students are not critically listening and thinking towards the task that their lecturer asked for. They might be face the other's problem if they keep this type of attitude. If I was a student, I also might be face this type of problem because we cannot even think what type of problems that we're going to face or what type of barriers that happen around us. For example, the information that I give and the information that you guys receive might be different because there's a lot of barriers around us. Alright, so I want to ask questions. Intan, if you are a student, what do you think the causes of this issue?
First and foremost, I would like to thank organizer for inviting me to deliver some benefit information on our forum today. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning also to Ms. Nazifa, panels and my beloved audience. Having a kid with a concentration problem doesn't mean that kid is not working hard or isn't intelligent. It also doesn't mean she's not interested in something even if it seems that way. Kids may want to focus on something but can't manage to do it. Trouble with focus can show up in many ways and it can change over time. So now I will go through 3 main reasons for the students' lack of concentration. Often the distractions are environmental or outside distractions that are unique to the student's individual learning style. Different students have different learning styles. Some learn best by seeing, some by hearing, and others by doing. If the teacher emphasizes a learning style that doesn't match with how the students learn, this can result in a lack of focus and understanding. For example, if some students are a visual learner and they are reading a very boring book with no pictures, Maybe they need more visual stimulation to draw their attention. Or maybe the student is an auditory learner and the class is noisy and they can't stay focused. Next, inattention can also be a result of feeling under of challenge. Students who are not appropriately challenged by their schoolwork can quickly become disengaged. They might start to lose interest in the material, stop paying attention, get lazy at school, and have worse grades because they zone out. When they are under challenge, they tend to find ways to engage and stimulate themselves. This means energetically disrupting the classroom or becoming the class clown. When students are over-challenged, they may try to distract others with high-energy behavior. And these both scenarios can result in a cycle of negative behavior that hinders learning. And the last one is that nutrition also can hugely impact students' ability to focus on school. Even I, as students, find it hard to focus when I'm hungry. So do the students. Brain development and growth depend on nutrition and lay the foundation for learning and behavior. Same goes as sleep. Sleep is very important as well, especially for young learners. It helps them recharge. As we all know, in order to have adequate energy, everyone must sleep for a certain amount of time. Students who do not obtain 8 to 10 hours of sleep every night will not have the energy to concentrate in class and more likely to make errors. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Right, so it's mean the costs is basically based on the students itself. Okay, so Zuriani, if you are a student, what do you think the effect of this issue?
Thank you to the respectful moderator. Assalamualaikum and very good morning to the whole people. Study is not an easy task for the people who involved in it. The situation nowadays makes the studying become more complicated than before. As a student, I understand what other students feel when they are going through a learning session. Some people who are not in our shoes will say learning is not really challenging than before because there is so much equipment provided nowadays. Not just that, students also will get more free time when they're studying these days, and it's easier to score in examination, rather because all the books and reference materials are provided. Therefore, I am here to tell the truth, which all those statements are incorrect and not convincing at all. Dear beloved panel, from the video that we have seen just now, that are the reality of learning session, and it's not easy like others think. Teachers and lecturers can see their students in class, but they have no time to look carefully to their all students. Therefore, they will not able to regulate their students. In my own observation, there are several effects of bad surrounding in classes. For example, the noises that made by some students and some physical distraction that made by the classmates can disturb the learning session itself. The bad way of communication can affect many things such as lost interest to study and listen to the lecture. As many know, study is about listening, seeing, and practicing. Can we just imagine we are listening to a good music using headphone or earphone. Suddenly there is disturbed and interrupting sound come from our headphone and earphone. We will not be focused to the song anymore, and we will lose interest to listen to the song, even though the song is our favorite song. The situation can be related to the learning situation. Students can lose interest to listen to the lecture if there are some noises that came from other students or lecturers. However, not all students will get the lost interest feeling because some students can adapt. Ladies and gentlemen, focus is the main keyword to success. If all of you here are in the situation like the shown video, you guys think you guys can focus on the lecture after seeing your classmate or your friends doing anything that not relatable with the lecture? If asking me, I would say that I cannot focus and pay attention to the lecture if my classmates doing some nonsense things in class. Some people will say the students can still pay attention to their lecture and it's just a minor disruption. It is normal, though majority students will get distraction or focus when they are seeing something weird appear in front of them. Reminder, students being focused on classes maximum for 3 hours only. The other hours, students will slowly lose their focus while learning. Therefore, if students seeing something weird and catch their attention, their focus will disappear earlier. Not just that, when the body, the eyes, and the brain are tired, students will easily be looking for some interesting thing that can distract them for a moment. Dear seminar friends, the last effects of bad surrounding that I will explain is it will decrease the communication levels between the students and the lecturers. From my experience, my lecturers love their students who like to ask questions about the lecture, but the students and the lecturers will be disturbed if there are some action or sound that did not related to the class session come up. The student will have some problems to get the attention from the lecturers if they really want to ask questions about the lectures. Let's make it logic. Imagine you are in 3 hours of classes and all students are required to do some tasks or work. In the first hour, all students seem focused and pay attention to the lectures. Students can ask questions that clearly can be heard by the lecturer times before she or he starts to notice. Furthermore, you also need to repeat your questions because your lecturers cannot hear you clearly due to those noises. The situation will get harder from the first hour class, and the bad communication will make you lazy to ask many questions, even though there are many parts that you are unclear. It will affect their understanding in studies also.
I see. I think it's a good explanation about the effects of this issue. So, right, one last question. Wardina, if you are a student, what type of solutions that you think or you can suggest in order to make sure that students can overcome this type of problems?
Thank you, Miss Nazifa. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning I bid to all of you. Okay, now I will give some solution how to avoid the problems. As we know, every student had the experience of glancing up at the teacher and realizing that they haven't heard a thing that the teacher had been saying for the past 10 minutes. For me, it takes a lot of effort to pay attention in class. It is difficult to stay concentrated for an hour or more, regardless on how interesting the subject is, or when you may have not gotten enough sleep, and with a teacher who may not be as inspiring as you would want. So, the first solution is eliminate distraction. When you lose focus in class, you should try to eliminate it. That could mean taking a seat at the front of the class where you will be less likely to take your phone and nearer to your teacher. Second, switching off your phone or putting it in your locker can also help. It could mean sitting next to your buddies who are more focused on their work rather than others who will happily talk and distract you. Third, make sure you are hydrated and rested. The best way to ensure that you can concentrate in class has nothing to do with what is going on in the classroom. It has everything to do with what you do before you go to school. It is about getting enough sleep to avoid feeling tired and drinking enough water to avoid feeling dehydrated. Keeping a bottle of water in your school bag so that you can have a drink whenever you feel thirsty. And the last one is, do work at the right level of difficulty. For me, it can be tough to do anything about what you are being taught, but do your best to ensure that what you are being taught is a correct difficulty for you. Work that is too difficult for you can be difficult to concentrate on because you may not understand what is being said. Work that is too easy can be even more difficult because it is likely to be bore you. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Alright, thank you, Wardina. I think I received a lot of new informations indirectly regarding our discussion today. So based on discussion today, I can relate it to my previous experience too, which I also face a lot of difficulties, a lot of barriers that I cannot even think that it will happen. So what I can conclude here is the barriers is basically the thing that we cannot avoid. But what we can do as a students is we can be more focused or pay more attention in the class, like what Wardina said. And from that, we can see our listening and critical thinking is built from time to time. So I think we reached at the end of our discussion forum today. I hope that it really helped those students who face the same barriers or the same problems and help them to be more focused during the lecture in the class. So that's all from us. Thank you.